Hey guys, Talani here. This is the Horridon encounter in the Throne of Thunder. This boss is the second boss in the raid, and obviously he is a Direhorn. This boss is 2 tanked, 2 healed, and 6 DPS'd, and it is a 2-phase fight. Now, phase 1 consists of basically destroying the 4 doors located around the amphitheatre. This is done by basically killing ads until you get a Zandalari Dynamancer, forcing the orb to cause Horridon to crash the door and making it completely useless. So the ads that spawn at this first gate are nothing particularly special. There's 3 different types of those, the most important of which are the Stone Gazers. Now these do a stun, which can be dispelled because it's a magic effect, but it can also be interrupted, or simply you kill them before they even manage to cast it. It can also be walked away from if you are far enough away, but as a tank you really don't want to be bothering with that too much. The ads spawn first from the gate, then close to Horridon, then back to the gate, then close to Horridon again. And after that second set of ads is when the Dynamancer will drop down. Once you've taunted him, he needs to be interrupted the second he starts casting Dino Mending, because as its name suggests, it starts healing Horridon. This isn't a big deal in itself, in that DPS and Horridon will presumably be quite low until the second phase, but in this case my guild was killing our ads so quickly that our DPS and Horridon was quite high. So interrupting him was a nice little bonus, in that we started off the second phase with Horridon quite low already. The strategy we use for this fight, my partner and I, we tank swap between gates. So I will tank the ads first, then I'll tank the boss, then I'll tank the ads, then he will tank the boss. And then I basically am the off tank all of the second phase, picking up the War God when he drops. Horridon does 2 kind of major abilities. One of those is double swipe, which he will do after charging someone, and also periodically on the tank that's tanking him. The person that's getting charged will want to run toward him to kind of try and prevent him from moving too far, because it's a bit of a pain to position him again. But double swipe is completely unavoidable other than moving out of it. It's a frontal and rear cone from his tail and from his head. Secondly, he does an ability called Triple Puncture, which causes you to take more and more damage each triple puncture he does. And as you can see, has a 2-minute debuff timer. You're going to want to save cooldowns for those and keep rolling any other defensives. For a bear savage defense, you want to try and keep up close to all the time, and trying to avoid as many of Horridon's melees as you can, because they do hit quite hard. In the meantime, the ads that must be destroyed at this gate consist of Zandalari Garabashi Bloodlords and Venom Priests. The Venom Priests do a raid-wide AoE effect that stacks, that's poison damage. This can be interrupted and it can also be dispelled, but as it goes out on the entire raid and dispels now have a cooldown, it's a bit of a pain to try and work through, so it's best just to interrupt as much as you can for that, and just down them as quickly as possible. Now this third gate, the ads fixate on random people, all except for the Frozen Warlords. There are 3 of these by the time you are progressing to the next gate, and basically there's nothing you can do about the other ads except for tanking the Frozen Warlords. Now these jump down quite close to Horridon both times, but are split up by packs of these smaller ads. I like to put up Thrash on these just for the less melee damage debuff that Thrash puts on them, but your main focus is these Frozen Warlords. These do an ability called Frozen Orb, which places a frozen orb on the ground in that position with a range that is that circle, that blue circle. It slows people who are standing in it and also does quite a bit of damage, and it rotates in that kind of little area. They don't move other than that, but all 3 warlords will put them down, so the best way to handle this is just keep kiting them slowly backwards and getting your DPS to take one down at a time. Once these have gone down, another Dynamancer will spawn. Obviously you kill him once more, and then you click the orb, cause Horridon to crash into the gate, and continue on to the 4th gate. The 4th gate, there are Amani Warbears. These have the add priority for this particular gate. There are also Flamecasters, and once the Warbears die, their riders jump off their backs. These also need to be picked up, and they have a reset sort of aggro table, so they won't immediately go for the tank. Other than that, it's kind of business as usual for this phase. You down the adds, you hold Horridon, and move on when this gate gets crushed into. Once he crashes into the gate, you move on to the phase where your DPS finally start taking down Horridon, and at this point he will be taking an extra 200% damage, and does nothing but double swipe and triple puncture. The tanks can tank swap. At this point we had Horridon quite low. Now when he reaches 30%, the War God will jump down and start whomping everybody. My job in this phase is to pick him up. For this particular occasion we chose to just ignore the War God and focus down Horridon, because once he dies, War God just despawns. Whereas if you kill War God first, then you still need to deal with Horridon. But if Horridon had a higher health percentage at the end there at that 4th gate, we would have taken the War God down first, because he does hit quite hard, and the tank will need to be rolling all their cooldowns on him. Other than that, depending on the way you do this and the length which it takes for you to kill Horridon, your tanks will want to swap in that last phase once their stacks have fallen off. And heroism is a good use here. Pop hero, kill Horridon, win the fight, and that is 10-man Horridon.